Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Arizona.
3-2. Base hit! And the Diamondbacks win it! A walk-off for Nick Ahmed. And the D-backs have won 5 in a row. Well, Chip Hale said when you expect good things to happen, they eventually are going to happen. And it's a great vibe here at Chase Field right now. Last night's dramatic win, the Diamondbacks' 5th straight. Tonight, a chance to get back to 500 and a special ticket offer available only during our telecast. Diamondbacks baseball on this Memorial Day weekend is presented by Sanderson Ford as the D-backs go for 6 in a row. And good evening from Chase Field. Welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthune, Bob Brenly along the way. The second in a quick 3-game homestand against the Chicago Cubs. And what a night it was here last night. Nick Ahmed is his first home run of the year. He had the walk-off RBI single. He's hitting better than .440, Bob, over his last 9 games. What has changed with Nick Ahmed?
Well, first of all, Steve, it's really good to see him getting some results. We know that Nick's been working very hard with the hitting coaches on the team, but that's no guarantee you're going to get results. Anytime you work extra hard, it's good to get some results, and Nick certainly got those last night.
It was quite a night here last night. Of course, he has worked for weeks. That was really the culmination of all his effort with hitting coach Turner Ward. Here's Turner Ward now on what has changed for Nick Ahmed.
He's so tough mentally, and he's really kind of been working on his stroke, just trying to plane things out a little bit more. And what I mean by that is just kind of getting a more level plane in his swing to be more conducive for line drives. And, you know, he's been working hard at it from day one. You know, watching this kid progress over the past 3 years has really been impressive to me.
Well, it's a good pitching matchup tonight as well. Ruby De La Rosa and Jake Arrieta, a special ticket offer for D-backs fans, good only during this telecast as they try to get back to 500, go for 6 in a row tonight on Fox Sports Arizona. part by Cox Gigablast. How will you live the gig life? By Lone Butte Casino. You're in for more winning moments at Lone Butte Casino. And by Jack in the Box. Try the new legendary Buttery Jack from Jack in the Box today.
Welcome back to Chase Field. I'm Kate Longworth, counting you down to first pitch in this game 2 between the Cubs and Diamondbacks. And tonight is a very special night for viewers at home. The Diamondbacks are celebrating fan appreciation with a very incredible ticket offer. Tonight only during our telecast, you can call in and purchase a mini game pack. That's 4 games, any 4 games, and you could be at the Diamondbacks' next home game. And by the way, after you buy 4 games, that 5th one is free. So really, you want to get out here. Right now, I'm going through one of the sections that you have an opportunity to watch a game at. This section right here goes from 115 to 129. We're right behind home plate, from dugout to dugout. You have a chance to watch a Diamondbacks game here. So again, you want to call 602-514-8400. Guys like Dave Stewart are waiting on the other side to pick up the phone and talk to you and get you out here to Chase Field. So you're going to get a chance to buy any 4 games. 4th of July, Father's Day, it's coming up. You need a gift, you need to make the call. You want to be out here. The Diamondbacks right now on an incredible winning streak. They have won 6 games, so we're going to see if they have won 5 games. We're going to see if they can get 6 tonight. And you fans at home get a chance to be out here at Chase Field. Stay tuned. First pitch is on the other side.
Here we go. D-backs have won 5 in a row, their longest winning streak in nearly 2 years. And a win tonight over the Cubs will put the Diamondbacks back to 500 for the year. And as Paul Goldschmidt said, we haven't been there in a while. So that's the goal here tonight. 6 in a row and a return to 500 on the season for the first time since April 24th when they were 8-8. So on the mound for the Diamondbacks tonight, he has been sensational as of late. 26-year-old right-hander, it's Ruby De La Rosa. He was lights out Monday at Miami against the Marlins. He'll take on the Cubs in a quick 3-game homestand here. Anthony Rizzo, Chris Bryant, Dexter Fowler, the whole row. And Ruby at Marlins Park Monday, 6 hits without a walk, a 9-inning no decision against Miami. He's unbeaten, Bob, in his last 3 starts.
Boy, everything about Ruby De La Rosa trending in the right direction. His strikeouts per 9 innings are up. His walks per 9 innings are down. Right-handers have had no luck against him. He's held them to a 181 average. Just dealing.
Cubs come into tonight 5 over 500, 23-18. They are 3.5 games behind the St. Louis Cardinals for the NL Central lead. Actually, now they're only 3 because the Cardinals just lost at Kansas City. Dexter Fowler leads it off on a gorgeous Saturday night in downtown Phoenix. And it's ball 1. Chris Conroy is our plate umpire tonight. (2-0) to Fowler, who's hitting .265 with 5 homers. He got number 5 in last night's ball game here, solo shot. He has reached base safely in each of his last 14 games. That's in the seats, and it's 2-1.
In case you were not with us last night, and if you weren't, what the heck were you doing?
Come on.
Dexter Fowler, Chris Bryant, Anthony Rizzo, this entire Cubs offense, much different from Cubs offenses in the past. They'll take their walks. They do strike out a lot, but some very patient at bats, willing to take that base and turn it over to the guy behind him in the order.
And this is one guy that certainly gets that whole mojo started, Dexter Fowler. 14 straight games reaching base. He scored 17 runs over that span. The on-base percentage north of .420, so he will take his walks. And he's on board to lead off the ball game. Let's take a look at the lineup for Joe Madden, Chicago Cubs.
We've already mentioned the top 3. Dexter Fowler leading it off. He'll be out in center field. Chris Bryant at third base. Anthony Rizzo at first base. Starlin Castro once again cleaning up, playing shortstop. Former D-back Miguel Montero getting the nod behind the plate tonight. Jorge Soler in right field. Chris Coughlin in left. Jake Arrieta, the pitcher, batting 8th, and Addison Russell, the second baseman, hitting in the 9 spot.
Be careful with big Chris Bryant. 1 for 6 with an RBI single last night. He also struck out twice. There's a strike from Rubio in 1. Bryant to .283 and 5 homers. He leads the Cubs in RBIs. And also watch out for Fowler down there, already with 10 stolen bases on the year. He got number 10 last night.
Cubs teams past were notorious for having a lot of power hitters. I mean, there's something to be said for guys that hit the ball in the air at Wrigley Field in the summer when the weather heats up a little bit, but early in the season, late in the season, when the temperatures get very chilly and that wind blows off the lake, they had trouble scoring runs in the past. Got guys with high on base percentages now, guys that are very athletic, can steal bases. They have many different ways to score runs, this year's team, as opposed to some of the Cubs teams in the past.
And Bryant last night with that RBI single made it an 11-game hitting streak. 4 homers and 12 RBIs in his last 11 games. And a dangerous man to have in the 2-hole. This is a real power bat. You'd think of him more as a 3 or 4 hitter. But with Joe Madden batting the pitcher 8th again tonight, he's got Bryant in the 2-hole. Just misses inside, and it's 1-2. What a night in downtown Phoenix. We're all opened up. Outfield panels, the roof, and a special ticket offer for you tonight. Good only during the game. Buy 4, get a 5th game free. A special offer for that 5th game free, only available during tonight's broadcast. Big savings over the normal box office price. And you get to pick the games. The 4-pack gives you complete flexibility, allows you to select any game you want, and you get that 5th game free. And he strikes out Chris Bryant. Bryant punched out twice last night. Ruby gets him for out number 1.
Well, it looks like the Diamondbacks' plan of attack on Chris Bryant is to try to jam him inside. Tailing fastball ran right in on his hands. Bryant just could not catch up.
Take a look at the Diamondbacks around Ruby De La Rosa.
Peralta in left, Pollock in center, Trumbo in right tonight. Yosmani Tomas and Nick Ahmed on the left side. Aaron Hill and Paul Goldschmidt on the right side. Tuffy Goldschmidt doing the catching for right-hander Ruby De La Rosa.
Anthony Rizzo. Dangerous guy up there at .320 with 8 home runs. Second in the National League at on-base percentage. 4th in the league in OPS, right behind Goldie. And And if you want to, you can think of him as sort of a left-hand hitting version of Paul Goldschmidt. Gets him to pop up right around the home plate area. Tomas coming in, and Goldie calls it off. That's a big out right there. Score the ball game. Love to see that here at Chase Field. Come on down if you get your fan appreciation offer and pick your 4 games, get the 5th one free. You can pick tomorrow as one of the games and come on down here. See the series finale against the Cubbies before the Diamondbacks are back out on the road. 3 at St. Louis and 3 at Milwaukee next week. Starlin Castro, the shortstop. 274 and 3 homers. Castro had a pair of hits last night, a double and an RBI. Here's a strike. And you were right, Bob. It's going to be interesting to watch this matchup if Ruby pounds the strike zone as consistently as he did Monday in Miami against a Cubs team that is the most patient team in all of baseball at the plate. As a club, they are averaging over 4 pitches per plate appearance. So we'll see if Ruby can maybe jump ahead in some counts tonight like he did right there. Force them to swing a little earlier in the count than they normally do. Saw that happen perhaps with Rizzo. Here's the 0-1 to Castro. Fowler on the run. That's in the seats, and it's 0-2.
Well, the Cubs may be averaging over 4 pitches per plate appearance as a team, but the guy at the plate isn't contributing to that a whole lot.
And probably won't.
No, Starlin Castro is likely to sneak up there and swing at warm-up pitches if you'd allow him. He's a very aggressive hitter.
Starting to turn it around. He's had a very slow month of May offensively after hitting .325 in April. He's been about 100 points below that this month and has struck out a lot more often. That one's in the dirt. Castro doesn't chase it. It's a ball and 2 strikes.
Good location for that 0-2 pitch because he is such an aggressive hitter. A lot of times you can get Starlin Castro to chase breaking balls in the dirt, fastballs over his head. The amazing thing is he's such a good bad ball hitter that occasionally he'll pick that ball out of the dirt, drive it up the middle for a base hit.
In his age 25 season, he's already got nearly 900 career hits. There goes Fowler. Pitch out is on, and Tuffy cannot get a handle on it. Oh, they called it perfectly there, and Tuffy just couldn't get it out of the glove. And Fowler's in there with his 11th stolen base.
Well, you're right. That's unfortunate. They guessed right. Fowler's on the move over there on the 1-2 pitch. Quick peek back to home plate. The head first slide. Tuffy just couldn't find the handle on the ball. Just didn't have a good grip, didn't want to risk throwing the ball out into center field and allowing Fowler to move up to third base, so re-gripped, and by then he was safe at second base.
And now a 2-2 count on Starlin Castro with Fowler in scoring position. But he punches him out. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Ruby. And he erases that leadoff walk. We are just underway on a gorgeous night in downtown Phoenix, Arizona. Is at the top of the order for Chip Hale tonight. A.J. Pollock, Mark Trumbo, and Paul Goldschmidt. Bottom one against your Arizona fourth starting pitcher for the Cubs is Jake Arrieta, the 29-year-old right-hander. This guy has been a very good pitcher in Chicago. Top 10 in the league right now in strikeouts. Here's Diamondbacks hitting coach Turner Ward.
We got a good game plan. He's a fastball pitcher, pitching off his fastball, and you know, like I say numerous times, we want to stay aggressive. But one thing with this guy, we had to be aggressive in the zone.
And don't let the record fool you here. He has been the victim of very low run support. He's kind of that guy in the Cubs rotation. He's been a lot better, Bob, than that 4-4 record.
Oh, absolutely. In his wins, the Cubs are averaging 5.8 runs. In his losses, they've yet to score a run for it.
So literally, it's no run
support.
And this is what he throws. A top 10 in the National League in whip, which of course measures how many base runners a pitcher is allowing.
That slider, at times he'll throw it very hard, 92, 93. It looks more like a cut fastball. Other times he'll take a little bit off and it looks more like a legitimate slider. But talking to people close to the Cubs, they say that his repertoire, top to bottom, all four pitches, as good as anybody in baseball. There are guys with better fastballs, guys with better curveballs, guys with better changeups, but if you put the whole package together, he's got four quality pitches.
He's a difficult guy against which to succeed. A.J. Pollock, 316, 4 homers. 4 hits last night, a home run shy of the cycle. And he's on one of his hot streaks right now. A ball and 2 strikes. A.J. with 10 hits in his last 16 at bats. And hitting near the top of the order, he scored 7 runs in his last 4 games. Very productive lately, ever since the pinch hit home run in Miami. And he looks at strike 3. Take a look at the lineup for Chip Hale's Arizona Diamondbacks. Tonight they go for 6 in a row.
A.J. Pollock at the top playing center field. Mark Trumbo in right field. Paul Goldschmidt with the big 2-run homer in extra innings last night. He'll be at first. David Peralta out in left. Cosmani Tomas at third. Aaron Hill at second base. Tuffy Gosevich doing the catching with Nick Ahmed at shortstop and Ruby De La Rosa on the mound.
Trumbo back in the 2-hole and he bangs it down the left field line. That's in the corner and Mark will take the turn. He is in there. His 8th double. Jumped on the first pitch from Arrieta.
Strike thrower on the mound. I would expect the Diamondbacks up and down the lineup to be aggressive on some first pitches tonight. A ringing line drive down into that right field corner. One out double for Mark Trumbo.
And here's Goldie. He takes a big rip at the first pitch. It's 0-1.
Well, it seems odd to see Mark Trumbo in the 2-spot in the lineup. Of course, Chris Bryant's hitting second for the Cubs, so I guess it shouldn't be that surprising. But yeah, Mark has really thrived in that 2-spot in the order in 9 games plus 1 at bat here tonight. He's hitting over 285, 7 extra base hits, and 8 runs driven in.
Arrieta drops that one in there. He's ahead 0-2. Goldie, a big hit in last night's series opener. 3 for 5, including this dramatic 2-run, 2-out homer in the 9th. That sent us to extra innings. It's funny, Chip Hale said after the ball game last night, that's why he's our guy. Chip said it's tough to do those things, but Goldie is built to do it. At .331, 4th in the National League in hitting. Tied for 3rd in homers. He's 3rd in RBIs and 3rd in OPS.
That was as quick a swing as you will see any power hitter take and generate that kind of juice to left field. I mean, he crushed that ball.
It was a no-doubter. What a moment here at the ballpark. Buckled him there, but he just misses inside 1-2. Tried that little front door breaking ball. And this is what Goldie does. And A.J. Pollock said the same thing. A.J. said the crazy part is He wasn't shocked that Goldie had that home run in that spot last night because he's seen him do it so many times. Coming up through the Diamondbacks minor league system and playing with Goldie, and now here at the big league level. And AJ said, yeah, look, it's just what he does. He hits homers to tie games and win games. That's kind of his thing. 1-2. Arrieta misses, and it's even 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Some hitters just have that innate ability that when the lights are the brightest, they don't melt. They rise to the occasion, and Goldie has done it over and over and over again, and A.J. Pollock has been fortunate enough to be there and see a lot of it.
It's a pretty good offensive lineup tonight. There's a lot of beef at the top for the Diamondbacks. The guys in the lower part of the order tonight are hitting as well. Tuffy and Ahmed against a good pitcher out there, and Jake Arrieta. This guy was top 10 in the Cy Young voting last season. Had a 2.53 ERA. He's been just as good so far this year. But Arrieta has lost 3 of his 4 starts this month. For the most part, as Bob mentioned, he's pitched very well here in May. In Arrieta's 3 losses this month, the Cubs have scored a total of 2 runs, none while he was in the game. And because he allows very few base runners when he starts, Arrieta usually pitches deep into ball games. He's been over 100 pitches in all but 1 start this year. And he's gone at least 7 full innings in half his starts. Goldie, who is down in the count, works it back full 3-2.
How many times have we seen him do this?
It's amazing.
Fall in the hole immediately, and you think the at-bat's going to be over with quickly. He fouls off a number of pitches. Ultimately, he gets to a full count.
Lays off and works the walk. 2 on, 1 out for Peralta. Look now at the Cubs defense.
Chris Coughlin in left field tonight. Dexter Fowler out in center. Jorge Soler in right field. Chris Bryant and Starlin Castro will man the left side of the infield with Addison Russell and Anthony Rizzo on the right side. Miguel Montero back home behind the plate at Chase Field wearing the Cubby blue, and he'll be catching right-hander Jake Arrieta.
Miggy, as usual, very social during batting practice. He looked like he was back on the Diamondbacks, kind of hanging out while they were taking BP. 2 on, 1 out for Peralta. Bounces it down the line. Rizzo, a terrific backhand stop, and Arrieta covers. Anthony Rizzo, what a play down there to save at least 1 run.
Hey, partner, you hit the nail right on the head when you compared Rizzo as a left-handed bowler. Great defender down there at first base. Very soft hands. Offensively, power, average. Good eye at the plate. Can steal a base. 2 of the best in the game going head-to-head here tonight.
Yeah, they are right behind each other, neck and neck, 3 and 4 in the league in OPS. Both outstanding defenders, very patient hitters up there. High on base guys and excellent defenders. So everybody moves up. Rizzo prevents a run, at least to this point. 2nd and 3rd, 2 outs for Yasmani Tomas. Tomas just under 340, a homer and 12 RBIs. Yasmani 1 for 6 last night, a single and a pair of strikeouts, now with a 7-game hitting streak. The batter's box suite. Call that number 602-462-4600. That can be your view here at Chase Field. And if you make it part of our special offer, good only during tonight's broadcast, the 4-pack, you get the 5th game absolutely free, and you can pick any game you want. Operators are literally standing by. Tomas ahead, 2 balls and a strike. Yasmani right now 14 hits in his last 32 at bats. And Chip Hale says with Tomas, you're seeing a different guy than the one we saw in spring training right now. Diamondbacks among the best in the business this year with 2 outs.
Yeah, almost 45% of their runs have come with 2 outs in the inning.
Base hit. Soler picks it up. They wave Goldie. Here's the throw, and it's not in time. 2-0 Diamondbacks. Yasmani Tomas stay hot. How about 15 for his last 33?
That's hot. Marvel at that inside-out approach that he has at the plate. Not bothered by hard throwers. Keeps his head right down on that ball. Every intention of driving it to the right side of the field. He gets a 2-hopper out there to Soler, who has a cannon for an arm, but gives Miggy a tough ball to handle at the plate. Andy Green waving Goldie the whole way, no doubt about it. Diamondbacks take an early 2-0 lead.
And Tomas sneaks in on the throw. It's a 2-run single for Tomas. He advances on the throw in scoring position now for Aaron Hill. RBIs 13 and 14 for Tomas. And Aaron looks at strike one. Aaron Hill making his 400th career appearance at second base for the Diamondbacks, now the most in club history. Breaks a tie with the O-Dog, Orlando Hudson. And Aaron in there tonight, 260 and 3 homers. He walked in a pinch hit appearance last night. Drove in a run with a pinch hit sac fly Thursday in the win at Miami. A roller back to the mound. Jam shot. Arrieta has it and throws it out. But the Diamondbacks strike first. They put up a crooked number in the first. Yasmani Tomas, a 2-run single, and it's 2-0 Diamondbacks. Operators ready right now. Take advantage of our offer, good only during the broadcast. Buy 4, get 1 game free.
Second base as he turns the corner at third and scores on the Yasmani Tomas single. It's going to be our Chaz Roberts cool play of the game. Seems like every night we find a fundamental of the game. Watch Goldie hit that inside corner with his foot right in stride. Didn't have to slow down, didn't have to stutter step, and with a guy like Soler in right field and the arm that he has, you better do everything right to score on a hard hit ball to right field. Fundamentals.
2-0 Diamondbacks as we start the second. And it's Miggy time. Miguel Montero getting the start behind the plate tonight. Came in as a sub about halfway through the 4.5-hour game last night. And the shift is on against Montero. 3 Diamondback infielders, including Yasmani Tomas on the right-hand side. 280 and 4 homers for Miggy. 0 for 2 with a walk last night. And Ruby's ahead, no balls and 2 strikes.
You know, we talked about it last night that Miggy might have a slight advantage since he knows most of the pitchers on this D-back staff, but he doesn't know Ruby De La Rosa. So he's getting his first look at him. He may have faced him somewhere along the line, but this is not a guy that Miggy is used to calling pitches for.
Well, Miggy said yesterday definitely felt different walking in here wearing a different uniform. But he said, look, it was time for him to get a fresh start somewhere else. He said the Diamondbacks always treated him right. He loved his time in the organization. But when he looks back on the winter, he believes it was the best thing that could have happened for him right now. It was just time to move on, and it was good to see everybody here before the ball game today. Turner Ward right there catching up.
Hey fans, anytime the D-backs score 5 runs or more, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations. Used to be able to get them Miggy style. Let's go Tuffy style or something.
I like that. I have to ask Tuffy what he'd like. He can set up his own tacos. 3-2 now on Miguel Montero. R.A. Soler will be next. Chris Coughlin after that. Miggy a little frustrated when he began this year with the Cubs. They opened up carrying 3 catchers, so he only started 11 games in April, but that finally figures to change. The Cubs this week traded Wellington Castillo to the Mariners for some bullpen help. Something that had been anticipated really ever since the Cubs acquired Montero from the Diamondbacks in December. Miggy said he understood the situation. Cubs had 3 catchers. They all need to play. He understood he was going to get more off days against lefties, but he did admit obviously it was hard on him. He likes to be back there all the time. Tenth pitch of the at-bat coming up.
Miggy's starting to come around a little bit. You mentioned the slow start. Hit only 176 through his first 14 games this season. 339 over his last 20.
Staying alive up there. Yeah, he said this year he feels really good when he plays. He always sort of sticks that little qualifier in there. Maybe a little off with the timing. It's hard when you're used to playing every day, and he got to Chicago and he was playing, 3 times a week, 4 times a week, something like that. But he says the swing feels good. Roby, though, gets him. And that's 3 strikeouts for De La Rosa. And a hard-earned strikeout right there.
Good hard slider. That's the pitch that's kind of in and out for Ruby De La Rosa. The fastball's always there. The changeup is always there. The slider at times really, really good. At other times, it's still a work in progress.
Jorge Soler now, the right fielder. Soler 267, 3 homers, and leading the National League in strikeouts. 2 hits last night, including a double. Bounce to Ahmed from the outfield grass. Long throw, 2 down.
a moment. Let's take a look at our Valley Honda keys to the game tonight. 5 for 4. We've been talking about the special ticket plan available tonight. You got to call in. And hey, give me a 6-pack maybe after the game. But the 6-pack we're referring to is 6 games in a row for the D-backs. They haven't won 6 in a row since August 23rd to 31st in 2011.
5 for 4. Buy tickets to 4 Diamondback games. Buy tickets to 4 Diamondback games as part of the 4-pack, and we'll throw in a 5th game absolutely free, but only during our broadcast.
Oh, about that! Tuffy goes a wish! Go get it!
Coughlin pops up the bunt, and look at Tuffy flying through the air. I thought superhero night was last night. 2-0 Diamondbacks. Wow. Well, Bob, there's the old joke. How many times have you seen it? When a guy makes a terrific defensive play and then leads off the next inning. Look at Tuffy on this one.
I mean, we talk about range with other players, and it's very easy to see a center fielder who has good range, but rarely do you get to see a catcher with good range like Tuffy showed right there.
That's a good point. He's a great catcher. He's got terrific range. Give me that one more time. There it is. Thanks very much. 0-1. Having dinner with Frank Cressetti and Phil Rizzuto. The money store.
Hi!
0-2. Called strike 3. Second strikeout for Arrieta. 1 down in the second. Well, here he is, the man of the hour, Nick Ahmed. The best game of his young big league career last night.
Lemonade like grandma made. Yum, yum, gotta get some.
You know you want it.
Nick's been getting his share lately. 3 for 6. His first home run of the season. And a walk-off single in the 13th last night. Some terrific defensive plays at shortstop as well. And he's at .212 on the year now with 8 RBIs. And you saw that .212 average over his last 9 games. He has raised the batting average by more than 80 points. And that's the game winner from last night. Nick has now hit safely in 7 straight, 12 hits over that span with 7 RBIs. Tried that little front door breaking ball again. He's missed with it twice, but it's awful close. 2-2 now. Dropped it in there that time for strike 3. Third strikeout for Arrieta. All 3 looking.
Pitcher, number 12.
High slider up there above the belt. Rarely do you get breaking balls called up there in that territory, but plate umpire Chris Conroy has called a couple of them up there. Something to take note of moving forward.
Ruby De La Rosa.
Goldie doing some repairs at first baseman's mitt. Usually that's a job for a trainer. Guys that are used to stitching people up.
Make sure it works. America's first baseman. He's a self-contained unit. Takes care of everything. 0-2. Addison Russell has to range well over toward the line, but plenty of time to get De La Rosa, and Arrieta works a 1-2-3 second. Chase Field, Diamondbacks lead the Cubs 2-0. Brought to you in part by Mattress Firm. Save money, sleep happy. Fans, good during the broadcast tonight only. Our special fan appreciation ticket offer. Buy a standard D-backs 4-pack, a 4-game plan, and we will give you a 5th game absolutely free. So it's 5 games for the price of 4. Good only during this broadcast. Call 602-514-8400. Buy 4 games, and you get to pick all the games. And we'll give you your 5th game free. As you just saw, we are manning the phones here at Chase Field tonight. 602-514-8400. The beauty of the 4-pack is it gives you complete flexibility. You can select any games you want. Pick the biggest games. Father's Day, 4th of July, Randy Johnson Hall of Fame bobblehead, Randy Johnson number retirement ceremony. Pick any 4 you want, and you'll get the 5th game absolutely free. You can pick tomorrow's game. Come on down here tomorrow. Watch the Cubs and Diamondbacks series finale. But you got to do it only during this broadcast. When the game ends, the offer ends as well. 602-514-8400. Jake Arrieta batting 8th for Joe Madden. He likes to hit the pitcher 8th. Leads off the 3rd against Ruby De La Rosa, who has retired the last 6 he's faced. Arrieta, not much of a hitter up there. Diamondbacks lead it 2-0. Yasmani Tomas, a 2-run single in the first. 2-2. Ruby has lost only once in his last 5 starts. 2-1 over that span. The ERA just over 3. Tomas at third. Ruby was on ceremonial first pitch duty last night, BB. And he did something I don't think we've ever seen before. Watch Ruby in the middle. He caught 2 of them.
Where'd David Peralta go? He bailed out, left Ruby there to catch 2.
And he did. A little bit of a juggling act there before our ball game last night. Here's Addison Russell, the second baseman. And there's a strike, 0-1. Russell hitting .248, 3 homers. 1 for 6 with an RBI single last night. And this guy is a big-time prospect, just 21 years old. Got his call up to the big leagues April 21st. He was hitting just under .320 in the minors this year with AAA Iowa. And has come up as a shortstop. Played almost exclusively shortstop in the minors, but for now, with Castro here, he's playing second base. There's Starlin Castro. Ball and 2 strikes. And we talked about this last night. Joe Madden likes to hit the pitcher 8th because he's got Russell, who he considers an extra leadoff man, and an extra guy to get on base ahead of guys like Bryant and Rizzo. And that's one reason why he feels good about hitting Chris Bryant in the 2-hole, a bat that you might normally see batting 3rd or 4th in anyone else's order. Because with Russell hitting 9th, it's almost like he's the leadoff guy. So with Bryant hitting 2nd, it's almost like he's hitting 3rd.
However, having the pitcher hit 8th means you have 1 quick out in the inning here.
Well, they're all quick outs against Ruby, BB. Yeah. He's rolling. He's retired 8 straight.
Hey, fans, follow the Diamondbacks all season with MLB.com at Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. At Bat is up to the moment at any moment with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, StatCast, and more. Get MLB.com at Bat for your smartphone or tablet.
The last pitch that got Russell.
Change up.
Well, Dexter Fowler led off the ball game with a walk and a stolen base, and that's been it. De La Rosa has retired every Cub since. Into the shift and right to Goldie with that newly repaired glove. De La Rosa covers, and it's another 1-2-3 inning. Ruby De La Rosa has retired 9 straight Cubs. And with some help from America's first baseman, he keeps it a 2-0 D-backs lead.
Celebrate Fan Appreciation Night with some incredible ticket offers. Right now, we want you to call in throughout our telecast. You can purchase 4 games. You get the 5th one free. I'm sitting right now in the Club Reserve. As you can see, they have lots of fun up here. These tickets are as good as gold, if you know what I mean. They're located both down the first and third base lines. And the best thing is, great view, great fans in attendance. And you know why they're so happy, guys? Because they don't have to leave their seats. Food is served right to their seat, food and drink. And I don't know, guys, you might find me here the whole game. There's also extra leg room here, guys. Extra leg room, great fans, Club Reserve. Call and get your tickets right now. 4 games, the 5th one is free.
Thank you, Kate. You're having some fun up there. You and I don't even have people bringing us food. That's a good deal.
We do have leg room.
AJ Castro spins and throws. And Pollock beats it out. Good stretch by Rizzo. But Pollock beat it out up the line. So AJ, who struck out looking his first time up, is on board to lead off the Diamondback third.
Nice play by Castro just to get to that ball up the middle of the field, but couldn't get much on the throw. And AJ smelling an infield hit, really busting it down that line just ahead of the throw.
AJ now with 11 hits in his last 18 at bats. He's on board to lead it off for Trumbo, who doubled and scored his first time up. Mark jumped on the first pitch he saw and knocked it down the right field line against Jake Arrieta back in the first. So he's at the first pitch again here. Our T-Mobile game-changing player, Mark Trumbo, in the 2-hole.
Yeah, we alluded to it earlier, batting in that second spot in the lineup as opposed to anywhere else in the lineup, and the numbers would say that he's very comfortable batting second.
AJ on the run. And a terrific throw right there from Miguel Montero. And Pollock is out. Although he's not going anywhere just yet. Oh, he might have missed the tag.
Yeah, the ball certainly beat him there to second base.
He missed the tag. Addison Russell did not get the glove on. And the second base umpire, Scott Berry, rung him up. But the Diamondbacks will not challenge. So it's a caught stealing. Montero throws out Pollock. They must have seen some angle that we're not seeing here. Unless they're going to say got him on the heel.
Yeah, I think maybe AJ's heel just clipped a little bit of Addison Russell's glove right there. You can see it move ever so slightly.
Chris Bryant has got a cannon down there, and he overshoots Rizzo. Trumbo's aboard. Another infield single for the Diamondbacks. Chris Bryant at third base, the rookie, has a tremendous throwing arm. And he gave it everything he had on that one, but it's E5. Take the no-hit away for Trumbo. It's an error on the third baseman.
It looked like Rizzo was arguing that he had the tag down on Mark Trumbo, but the foot's already on the bag. Nice play to slap the tag down on the shoulder, but Mark was already safe at first.
So no hit, E5, and here's Goldie, who walked and scored his first time.
Mark Grace is probably watching Anthony Rizzo and having flashbacks to when he played for the Cubs. Had to do the splits on the throw from Castro. Had to jump high in the air on the throw from Bryant. Yeah, Gracie had his own guys to deal with. Sean Dunston could really airmail some throws over there to first base.
2-0 to Goldie. This is high in the air, right center field. Jorge Soler. 2 down. Brings up David Peralta. Peralta grounded out his first time. Fans, during our game broadcast tonight only, fan appreciation ticket offer night tonight. Buy a standard D-backs 4-pack, and we will give you a 5th game absolutely free, but only during our broadcast. So call 602-514-8400. Pick any games you want. It's all up to you. And we'll throw in a 5th game for free. You get 5 for the price of 4. But when the game ends, the offer ends. So you got to jump on this deal.
I mean, there's all kinds of possibilities. If you're an American League fan, there's interleague play. Bob Melvin and the Oakland A's come in here later this season, the end of August.
Angels, you can come here and see Mike Trout.
Marlins roll into town July 20th through 22nd. You can watch Giancarlo Stanton take batting practice.
That is a must-see.
Man.
We watched that for 4 games. It's a show.
Of course, anytime the Dodgers are here at Chase Field, you come out and boo them.
Yeah, we encourage that. One and 2.
If you're a fan of offense, I would suggest you come when the Rockies are in town. They've got some guys that can hit, and they've got some pitchers that can't get anybody out.
And they'll be happy to be playing in a ballpark with a roof. They had a tornado warning in Denver today. Every game has just been a weather disaster. Just misses inside at 95, and Peralta's even 2 balls and 2 strikes. Yeah, the 4-pack gives you total flexibility. You can pick all the games. It's all up to you. Pick a good bobblehead day. Pick a holiday, Father's Day, 4th of July, a couple of Randy Johnson days. 2 and 2, 2 outs. And as you saw earlier, we've had a whole bunch of people manning the phones right now. 602-514-8400.
I know there's a lot of transplanted New Yorkers out here in the Valley of the Sun. The Mets roll in next homestand when we come back from this road trip. 4-game series against the Mets.
Meet the Mets. Peralta sends it out to Coghlan in left. And he runs it down. Well, it's time for a birthday party tonight. What better place than one of the Chase Field suites? Hey, you kids, keep it down. Put your shirt back on. Sit down.
Brought to you by Geico. 6 weeks after successful thyroid cancer surgery, Double D Doug Davis allowed 1 run in 7 innings in an 11-1 D-backs victory over the Braves. What a day for Doug Davis. Teammates love it.
Chris Bryant leads off the Cubs 4th against Ruby De La Rosa, who so far has not allowed a base hit. He's given up only one base runner, in fact, to walk to Fowler to lead off the ball game. He's retired 9 straight, including a strikeout of Bryant back in the first. Ruby coming off that tremendous 9-inning no decision against the Marlins on Monday, and unbeaten in his last 3 starts. He's got a 2-0 lead. Yasmani Tomas a 2-run single in the first. Bryant chases that one up and in. It's 1-2.
See if De La Rosa stays in there again. We mentioned it in his first at bat that Bryant, it appears the Diamondbacks are going to try to crowd him inside, take some of the sting out of the bat.
Oh, Chris Bryant gets a hold of one but pulls it.
Just a loud, long strike.
It was both of the first 2.
Yeah.
This guy had a big year in the minors last season. 325 and 43 home runs. He led the minors in homers. And he's got a base hit.
An interesting change of pace there after pulling that ball way foul and way out of here to left field. He features a Yasmani Tomas like inside out swing and takes advantage of that pull shift, shoots that ball into right field.
Leadoff man aboard. First hit for the Cubs, and Bryant's now hit in 12 straight. Here's Anthony Rizzo, who popped up his first time. Bryant will run occasionally. He's got 4 stolen bases. Strike 1. Rizzo, when he hits the ball with authority, he will hit to his pull side at least this year. All 8 of his homers have been either to right or right center. Right out on top of the plate, leads the majors in being hit by a pitch. Big cut at that 95-mile-an-hour fastball, and Ruby is ahead. No balls and 2 strikes. Rizzo is a tough out even when you're ahead in the count. He just will not chase a bad pitch. Second in the National League in on-base percentage. And Joe Madden just raves about the quality of Anthony Rizzo's at-bats. He told me yesterday just never gives one away.
We talked about it last night. Chokes up on the bat with a 2-strike count. Try to shorten that swing a little bit. Just be quick to the ball. This is where he is a little bit more likely to hit the ball to the opposite field when he's in that 2-strike count, protecting the plate. But you get him 2-0 and 3-1 when he's looking for a pitch. That's when he can drive it to his pull field.
Joe Madden just loves the way Rizzo locks in at the plate. He says at bat per at bat, Rizzo is engaged in every pitch. Doesn't give away anything. He chases one there, in fact. Terrific pitch by De La Rosa, who's got 5 strikeouts.
Shortstop.
The only way you can strike out a really good hitter like Anthony Rizzo is throw something that looks like it's going to be a strike and then fade it out of the zone. Cubs talking to themselves in the early going here tonight. Everything working so far for Ruby.
There's that last one to Rizzo, down and away. I saw Starlin Castro strike out in that montage to win the first. Yeah, last year in Boston, Ruby had a strikeout rate of 6.5 per 9 innings. With the D-backs this year, it's up to nearly 8 strikeouts for every 9 innings, and his walk rate is also down this year. That power fastball, that outstanding changeup, and the occasional slider. And sometimes he'll take something off that slider. It's almost like 2 pitches in one. Quick move over there, but Bryant is back. Take advantage, fans, only during our broadcast tonight. Fan appreciation ticket offer. Buy your standard D-backs 4-pack, the 4-game plan, and we'll throw in a 5th game absolutely free. 1-0 to Starlin Castro. There goes Bryant. Tuffy goes away. The throw is offline, not in time. And Bryant has his 5th stolen base of the year. We saw Ruby throw over there a number of times. And the Diamondbacks were correct earlier in the ball game, Bob, on a pitch out, so they must be doing a good job with the signs or something.
Well, they're just really lucky picking the pitches that they choose to run on here. Occasionally that base runner will get out there far enough that he can see the catcher's signs, and if you see a changeup or a slider, a breaking ball, something that's going to be off speed, that's usually a good pitch to run on.
1-1. Go back to the bag, and they got a play on. How about that, Nick Ahmed? The roll at a shortstop. Nick Ahmed saw Bryant range too far off the bag. Scott Berry, the second base umpire, going to hold everybody up here in case the Cubs want a challenge. And I think they are going to challenge this. Did he get the hand in there before Aaron Hill got the glove down on the helmet?
I have to admit, with the naked eye watching the play the first time, I thought he got back in underneath the tag.
And so Joe Madden is challenging a call at second base. And it's another replay review brought to us by Mix One. The headsets go on. Ted Barrett, the crew chief, the third base umpire, and Scott Berry, who made the call at second.
Unfortunately, Nick's throw to Aaron Hill just a little bit too high, had to come down with the tag, and I think that gave Bryant just enough time to get back in under the tag.
Well, if the call does get overturned, it'll be runners at first and second with 1 out for Miguel Montero. Headsets coming off. He is indeed safe at second. So the call is overturned. It's another replay review brought to us by Mix One. So Bryant is in there at second, and Castro boarded first.
At the plate, catcher Miguel Montero.
Castro reaches first on the fielder's choice since they tried to get the out at second rather than throw across the diamond.
Miggy struck out his first time in a very long at bat, fouled off a whole bunch of pitches. Ball one.
I don't want to sound like I'm picking on Starlin Castro, but I've seen him play a lot of games, and his mind can wander with the best of them. He had a really big lead over there at first base on that first pitch to Miggy.
Well, he's sort of made that reputation for himself, a guy that has trouble just focusing out there, and they've tried all kinds of things. Coaches yelling at him both in the field and at the plate. Teammates, Anthony Rizzo picks up a lot of that responsibility, he says.
This would be a good time to do it with a left-handed hitter at the plate because that runner at first is somewhat screened from the catcher. Tuffy can come right out behind Miguel Montero and throw down to first base.
Up the middle. Ahmed is there. Aaron Hill. And they roll the double play. 2 on, 1 out. And the ground ball double play ends the threat. Here's what's next, brought to you by CenturyLink. Yasmani Tomas, a 2-run single in the first. He'll lead off the fourth.
Of honor in its mission of providing educational scholarships to families of military members who have been killed or disabled while serving our country. For more information, visit foxsportssupports.com.
Those really are the home run porch here at Chase Field. Some of the coolest seats in all of baseball. We've been to all the ballparks, but it's such a great view because you're hanging right out over the field in some parts. Seats for soldiers over there. The home run porch, the exclusive area, available on a single game basis or as a multi-game package here at Chase Field. You can get seating for 4 to 6 guests up there, in-seat wait staff, and it's really a cool view right in the front row, hanging over the field out there. 0-1 to Yasmani Tomas. That's a good shot of it. Great for batting practice. He'll hit him over your head out there during BP. Arrieta throws pitch number 51, and Tomas lines it into the seats. Yasmani Tomas. He has driven in the game's only run so far. 15 hits in his last 33 at bats. Arrieta strikes him out. 4 strikeouts for Jake Arrieta, 1 down in the 4th.
Arrieta is one of those guys that kind of flies under the radar. He doesn't call a lot of attention to himself. He doesn't do national commercials or anything like that. But over the last 2 years, he's been one of the best in baseball. 5th in ERA, 2nd in opponent's batting average. Only Clayton Kershaw and Johnny Cueto have a lower whip than Jake Arrieta. Numbers across the board outstanding.
Aaron Hill, base hit. Shoots it in the left for a 1-out single.
Pitcher, Tuffy Gonzalez.
Aaron Hill had some good numbers against Jake Arrieta coming into this game. He was 6 for 14 with a homer and a couple driven in. 1 for 2 on the evening after shooting that one by Starlin Castro into left field.
Tuffy struck out looking his first time up. Don't forget, Tuffy had the 1-out double in the 13th last night to get into scoring position and set up the Nick Ahmed walk-off as Tuffy came around with a winning run. In fact, he was on base 3 times last night, the double a pair of walks. And Tuffy has now hit safely in 5 straight games in 8 of his last 9. He's had a really good month at the plate. Whip, walks and hits per innings pitched. It measures how many base runners a pitcher allows, and since the start of last season, as Bob mentioned, Jake Arrieta among the best in the business, certainly in the National League. If you're better than Wainwright and Greinke at pitching, any category, you're doing all right. And one thing that's interesting with Arrieta, he has really formed a good duo with Miguel Montero behind the plate. Arrieta beat the Cardinals 2-0 in his first start this year. That was in fact Joe Maddon's first win as the Cubs skipper. There's a strike. And what was interesting about that start, the relationship that he really started to forge with Miggy back there. Because after that ball game, Arrieta said Montero was huge because Miggy would come out to the mound, did it in fact a couple of times in that ball game, and really got on him. And Arrieta said, you know, that's what he actually needed. Arrieta said some guys need a pat on the back, some guys need to be yelled at. He says he's one of those guys that needs to be yelled at. And Aaron Hill is a dead duck down there. Miguel Montero has now thrown out 2 attempted Diamondback base stealers tonight. They got Pollock in the 3rd and now Hill in the 4th.
It looked like a broken hit and run. Tuffy swung right through the pitch, and on a hit and run, you're not trying to steal the base. You're counting on that batter to protect you, and unfortunately that time Tuffy swung right through the pitch and Aaron had nowhere to go.
2-2 pitch to Tuffy, and he strikes out to end the inning. 5 strikeouts for Jake Arrieta. Will go to the 5th. Diamondbacks lead the Cubs 2-0. Brought to you in part by your Valley Honda dealer, where you'll get more standard features for less money. CenturyLink, your link to what's next. And by Mix One, great taste, no face, available at local retailers.
All right.
Well, fans, get on the phone. Good only during this broadcast. It's our fan appreciation ticket offer. This is the 3rd year in a row we've done this. Buy a standard D-backs 4-pack. Get tickets to 4 games. You pick the games, and we'll give you a 5th game absolutely free. So you're getting 5 D-backs games for the price of 4. But you have to call 602-514-8400 during the broadcast. Once the game ends, the offer ends. A standard D-backs 4-pack and a 5th game free. Jorge Soler, look out. The bat hit the screen, and that's that extra screen that we saw here starting last year that the Diamondbacks have extended out. It goes dugout to dugout now, all around the back here behind home plate, and that one caught that extra portion of screen. Otherwise, that's in the seats.
Yeah, people would have been ducking before that screen was extended farther down both lines.
Another safety issue that they've addressed here at Chase Field. And Jorge Soler leads off the fifth with a big swing and a miss. Soler, Coghlan, and Arrieta 6, 7, 8. Against Ruby De La Rosa, who so far has given up only one hit, a single. He's got 5 strikeouts. Tough play for Aaron Hill. He can't quite get there. It rolls into right. Soler with a single to lead off the fifth.
Left fielder Chris Coghlan.
Soler got beat with a fastball that time. He wanted to pull that pitch, but De La Rosa rushed it past him. It turned out a ground ball to the opposite field. Aaron Hill couldn't quite get there.
Chris Coghlan now, the left fielder, really scuffling right now. He popped up his first time, a play on which Tuffy made a tremendous diving play, so he's 4 for his last 25 up there. He struck out in a pinch hit appearance last night. Coghlan just has not seen the same level of offensive production that he turned in with Chicago last year. Had a good year last year, hit .283. Played in 125 games, but he's on the interstate right now. Oh, 2. Rudy De La Rosa. He has been at his best so far this season. And we've seen him pound away consistently with those fastballs, and that helps him, it seems, settle into a very good pace out there, where he's in command, he's dictating tempo, and not rushing them. As John Wooden always used to say, be quick but don't hurry. 0-2. Hard hit and into right. A base hit for Coghlan. Soler will stop there. The first 2 have reached in the Cub fifth.
The changeup just didn't get far enough off that outside corner. Coghlan was able to reach out there and wrap that ball back to right field. And now with Jake Arrieta hitting in the 8th spot. Now to have a word with his third base coach Gary Jones about exactly what he wants him to do in this situation. And the Diamondbacks are doing the same thing on the mound, figuring out defensively what they want to do.
You've got Soler, the runner at second, Coghlan at first. Both guys run well. And here's the pitcher, Arrieta.
The Cubs do not have a sacrifice bunt from a pitcher this year.
Now, do you think that's because they usually hit 8th?
I'm not sure why. You would seem that they'd have situations like this where you would want the pitcher to put down a bunt, move those 2 runners up for, in effect, a leadoff hitter, Addison Russell.
Goldie coming in from first. Arrieta can't get the bunt down, and that's a strike. Now, with first and second here, Tomas has to be near the bag at third, right?
Well, unless you have the wheel play on, where Tomas would charge hard in an effort to field the bunt, and Nick Ahmed would break to cover third. They kind of faked a wheel play right there. Nick came in behind the runner and broke toward third base and then stopped. The idea being you want Arrieta to think the wheel play is on and have him swing away, when in reality the Diamondbacks were playing back.
Goldie halfway in at first. And that's a ball.
Now Goldie is looking right now to cross the diamond and field a bunt on the third base side of the field if necessary. That's how hard he's charging from first.
Gary Jones in the middle there, the third base coach. Wheel play, corners crash. Second baseman covers first, shortstop covers third, and second base is left unoccupied, right?
Correct. The idea is you either get the lead runner at third or take the out at first base.
Here's the wheel play. It's a strike, 1-2. You can see no one's out there, no defender at second base. So they've changed it up now on Joe Madden. 1-2 count.
Well, there's all kinds of variations depending on your personnel defensively. I mean, there's actually a designed bunt play to try to turn a double play up the middle of the field. If you've got a slow runner at first and a slow runner at the plate, the corners charge, the second baseman covers first, and the shortstop covers second base. You leave third unoccupied, and you try to turn a double play up the middle of the field.
1-2. Arrieta swings away. Like another Ruby changeup, and that's the first out in the 5th.
Second baseman.
6 strikeouts now for De La Rosa. Here's Addison Russell. We saw him tremendously efficient in that start Monday at Miami. So far, 67 pitches, 48 strikes. Russell struck out his first time. And now Ruby will look for the ground ball here and try and get out of this mess. Nice block by Tuffy to get way out there that time behind the left-hand batter's box.
Block once again by Tuffy on that slider. Because of the rotation on the ball, it doesn't take a true hop. It's always going to kick back a little bit to your left. Certainly Tuffy knows that as well as anybody, and as usual squared it up right in the middle of the chest protector.
Soler at second, Conklin at first. Trying to get together here with Tuffy.
Russell was the hitter last night in the 11th inning with a couple of teammates on base. One of the best double plays we've seen this year. Nick Ahmed had a runner right on top of him, knew he was going to take a hit, and still was able to turn that double play to bail the D-backs out of a potential big inning.
And that was Herrera who came barreling in there and sort of hooked him with his foot. This is that time, and it's 2 balls and a strike.
And this guy runs well. That's the first double play he's grounded into this year, and it took that rocket arm by Nick Ahmed to complete the double play and get Addison Russell at first.
On a ball that was not hit very hard to second, kind of a slow roller there. 70 pitches now for Ruby, 49 strikes, 2-1 to Russell. Kind of misfiring here. It's 3 balls and a strike. Fowler is on deck, and then behind him you've got Bryant and Rizzo. Ball 4. Cubs have the bases loaded with 1 out. Second walk issued by Ruby.
Center fielder, Dexter Fowler.
And they got to be careful with Fowler, who hit his 5th last night.
Tough guy to double up, especially coming out of that left-hander's batter's box. He had him hit something hard right out of D-backs infield.
And Fowler is another one of these very patient Cub hitters. He generally does not chase. He has now reached base safely, Dexter Fowler, in 15 straight games.
Well, Mike Harkey is settling down the Diamondbacks starting pitcher. We want to wish a couple of happy birthdays tonight. Loretta Carwell from Claypool, Arizona. Longtime D-backs fan. Also, Ms. Billy Smiley celebrating a birthday tonight. You both have a wonderful evening, and the D-backs give you a victory for your birthday. Hi!
Thank you, Harry. Jorge Soler at third, Chris Coughlin at second, Addison Russell at first. Bases full, 1 out for Fowler, who has walked and grounded out. Talked about Ruby and pace and rhythm. He's kind of fallen out of it here in the 5th. Two and 0. You really want to get at least a minimum 1 out here because you've got the big boys next in Bryant and Rizzo. And now he needs to make a good pitch here on 2 and 0. Well, he did.
Changeup. Fowler so far out in front, his hand came off the bat.
Doubled up. 2 and 2. Everything in this at bat, away, away, away. Hey, got him! Roby De La Rosa. 7 strikeouts, 2 down in the 5th. And Bryant will hit with the bases full.
Third baseman Chris Bryant.
Oh, we've seen it so many times from Ruby this year. When he gets in trouble, when he gets in a jam, he goes to that straight changeup. Just a devastating pitch. Great arm speed.
Boy, he just made 3 beauties in a row there after he fell behind on Fowler. But one more mountain to climb here in Bryant. Bases loaded, 2 down. Ball 1. Bryant tonight has struck out and singled. He's now got a 12-game hit streak. And he has homered Chris Bryant 5 times in the last 13 games. Changeup.
Another changeup. Started the sequence with a slider away. Missed with it. 1-0 count. Most hitters are looking fastball. And Ruby pulls the string, throws that changeup again.
Speed differential. He's topped out at 96 with that fastball tonight. A ball and a strike to Bryant. Well, a potential Houdini act in the making right here. One and 2 to the red-hot rookie. G-Money. Oh, aerial creator. And now Tuffy wants to talk it over. Fan appreciation ticket offer good only during this broadcast. Buy the standard D-backs 4-pack of tickets. 4 games. You can pick your games and we'll give you a 5th game absolutely free. 602-514. 8400. The offer ends when the game ends tonight. Soler at third, Conklin at second, Russell at first. 2 outs, a ball and 2 strikes on Chris Bryant. Cubs are on the board. Soler comes in from third. It's a 2-1 ball game.
Looked like Bryant didn't react till after the ball hit him. It was another changeup. Left that left elbow with the guard out there long enough to get hit by a pitch and drive home the first run of the game for the Cubs.
And now you got another really tough out here in big Anthony Rizzo, who has popped up and struck out 0 for 2. Jumps on the first one and drives it to left. It's off the wall, and the Cub base runners are flying in. Coghlan scores, Russell scores, Bryant scores, a 3-run double for Anthony Rizzo, and the Cubs lead it 4-2. Everybody had to hold up there for just a moment, and when they saw it hit the wall, they were off and running.
We talked about how patient Anthony Rizzo normally is, but with runners in scoring position, he's looking for the first thing close to that strike zone and drives this one to the opposite field. David Peralta jumped against the wall before it juts back there in the Diamondbacks bullpen and didn't even come close to that one.
I don't know why Russell was so late. I mean, there's 2 outs. I don't know why he was so late coming around, but he held up there at second base for the longest time. And Bryant almost ran up his back, but Rizzo delivers a big bases loaded double, and it's 4-2 Chicago. Starlin Castro now. Doing bird calls again?
No, I wonder where that's coming from.
J.C. Ramirez warming quickly. Castro reached on a fielder's choice his last time up. He struck out in the first. Yes, he wins. Angel Hernandez down there. Boy, Ruby was a strike away from getting out of that mess, and then he hit Bryant on the elbow guard. And then Rizzo came up, bases loaded, and banged it off the bullpen wall out there.
Velocity still very good. Movement still very good. Just the release point has kind of deserted Ruby here in this inning, falling behind in some counts.
Soler led it off with a single. Coghlan had a single after that. And Cubs got it started that way. There's a high bouncer just by Rizzo on that fires and throws him out. But Chicago gets 4 in the 5th. Anthony Rizzo, the big hit, a 3-run double, and the Diamondbacks are down 4-2.
it a part of this fan appreciation night by calling throughout our broadcast to purchase tickets with these special offers. Buy 4 game tickets, you get the 5th game free. All taxes and fees are waived. I'm right now in section 324, and I've been checking out sections throughout the ballpark. All of them have great pros to offer, great viewpoints, and also all vary in different price ranges. And the best part about this offer is there's no fine print. There are no blackout dates, which means you can buy tickets for any games, for bobblehead giveaways, for holidays. You could be out here on the 4th of July. And guys, I don't think it's any coincidence. My dad keeps texting me throughout this game. He knows what's going on. He sees this ticket offer. He knows Father's Day is just around the corner, and I think he's asking me to just connect those dots.
Nice work. A less than subtle hint. Nick Ahmed leads off the 5th. And again, fans, the ticket offer available only during our broadcast. Standard D-backs 4-pack. We will give you a 5th game absolutely free. Operators are manning the phones right now, waiting for your call. 602-514-8400. A special offer for a 5th game absolutely free, available during tonight's broadcast only.
Ahmed, stay hot, Nick Ahmed.
Leadoff man's aboard. Well, the Diamondbacks last night came back twice. They were down 2-1. They were down 4-2 late in the ball game. No reason they can't do it again here tonight.
Nick squaring up another one toward that gap in left center field. Only the speed of Dexter Fowler hustling over from center kept Nick at first base on that one.
He's now hit safely in 8 straight games. Nick Ahmed, 13 hits during that 8-game streak. Ruby De La Rosa. Bryant will come in on the grass at 3rd. Yeah, this ticket offer, Beeb, it's not like one of those airline deals where you can't use your miles. You can pick any game you want.
Pick it.
Father's Day, 4th of July, Randy Johnson bobblehead day, that's July 25th. Randy Johnson retirement ceremony, the number retirement, August 8th. So you can be here for that. Miggy chases that one down. De La Rosa pops out. A couple of nice plays, one by each catcher of the ball game.
You know, at the risk of sounding like an old fogey, I've never seen worse bunting in Major League Baseball than I've seen this season all around baseball. Not just the Diamondbacks, not just the Cubs. Nobody can get a bunt down anymore.
You kids get off my lawn.
Yeah. I think a lot of it has to do with the quality of pitching. I mean, the pitching's a lot better than we've seen in a long time in Major League Baseball, and it's tough to bunt good pitching.
And actually, Diamondbacks guys were out here early today practicing bunting. All the coaches were out here. Chip Hale and Turner Ward. A bunch of pitchers and hitters were practicing the bunting. A.J. Pollock has struck out and singled, 1 for 2. A.J. 11 hits in his last 18 at bats. He's red hot right now.
I think it's a sabermetric conspiracy.
Sabermetricians don't like bunting.
Not at all.
They're not a fan. The internet hates bunts. Got all over Ned Yost in the postseason last year, but it generally worked out well for the Royals skipper. Where did you stand on the bunting? Not the opening day stuff. I mean the actual bunts.
Very situational. It depends on the personnel. Depends on the pitcher on the mound. Where you're at in the game. Who do you have at the plate? Who do you have running the bases? I don't think there's any fast and true rules that you have to bunt every time you get a runner on base in a tie game. I mean, you're not going to bunt Goldie with a runner at first base in a tie game late.
Can you imagine?
Ooh.
Chopper right to Castro. And Russell can't convert it. Now remember, he's been a shortstop his entire minor league career. He's on a different side of the field, as Joe Madden points out. The double play comes from a different angle, and he's still adjusting. And the Diamondbacks get a gift right there.
Unfortunately, Nick was able to scramble back to the bag. A little slow hopper. Castro waits back on the ball. I think Russell just took his eye off right there. Pretty good shovel toss, but Russell was looking at first base and making an effort to get out of the way of the runner and didn't look the ball all the way into his glove.
Well, let's see After the error on Russell, that's a fielder's choice E4 if the Diamondbacks can take advantage now. 2 on 1 out for Mark Trumbo.
That's a perfect example. It's a 2-run ball game, but are you going to ask Mark Trumbo to try to put down a sac bunt? Something that he probably hasn't done since Little League. And a guy that could conceivably hit the ball in the seats and give you a lead.
One and 0. Diamondbacks with a chance to get those runs back. Trumbo, a .250 hitter with runners in scoring position this year. Mark doubled and scored in the first. Ahmed is the runner at second. A.J. Pollock at first. Good speed on the bases for the Diamondbacks.
Missed the same pitch on the pitch before. It hung over the middle of the plate, and Mark fouled it straight back. This time Arrieta comes back with a nastier slider off that outside corner, and Mark could not hold up.
Can't hold up that time either. And he strikes out. 6 strikeouts for Jake Arrieta.
First baseman, Paul Goldschmidt.
Usually when you chase breaking balls out of the zone, as far as Mark did those last 2 pitches, he's just not picking the ball up out of the pitcher's hands, not recognizing the rotation on the ball and anticipating where it's going to go.
Goldie walked and scored in the first. He flied out his last time up. This is inside. It's 1-0.
D-backs have him right where they want him. 87 2-out runs, the most in the majors this year. And Goldie with ridiculous numbers in this situation.
As A.J. Pollock said last night, it's just what he does. And it's funny that A.J. mentioned that, coming up in the Diamondback minor league system and playing with Goldie and seeing him get those types of big hits time and time again at every level, including the big leagues. And A.J. said it's just not a big deal to Goldie. Play on at second, maybe. Up and in, 95, 3-0. Russell sneaking in behind the bag at second.
Goldie absolutely has the green light here if he gets a pitch to his liking. A little cutter that just nips that inside corner. Not what he was looking for.
Not on 3-0 anyway. See Miggy. Arrieta's talked about this. Miggy will get on there and get out there and get on him. Arrieta says he likes that. Series finale tomorrow on Fox Sports Arizona. Diamondback Line pregame show at 12:30. And that one is Jeremy Hellickson and Jason Hamill. And we're on an airplane. 3 against the Cardinals and 3 against the Brewers. All on the road. Three-one pitch. Ball 4. And the bases are loaded for David Peralta. There's Bosio, the pitching coach.
Blasio to steal the momentum right here. Slow the game down a little bit. This pitcher take a deep breath and relax and focus on the next hitter.
Arrieta has struck out 6. He's walked 2. Both walks to Goldie in the first and now here in the 5th. Peralta comes up 0 for 2. He has grounded out and flied out.
Now batting, left fielder, David Peralta.
Bases loaded, 2 down. Nick Ahmed is the runner at third. A.J. Pollock aboard at second and Paul Goldschmidt at first. Drives it to left center field. It's off the wall. Ahmed scores. Pollock scores. And here comes Goldie. 5-4 Diamondbacks. A 3-run double for David Peralta. And sometimes as Yasmani comes up to the plate, you gotta live Tomas.
Started him with a breaking ball in the dirt. David, a notorious first ball hitter. Well, when you miss with that first curveball, you're still a first ball hitter. He got the fastball he was looking for, banged it about halfway up the wall out there in left field, and much like in the top half of the inning with 2 outs in the inning, the runners are on the move, and Goldie comes all the way around from first and scores. You know what that means? Yeah.
Tacos.
Uh-huh.
You want them, you got them. 5-4 D-backs. Here's Yasmani. Well, the Cubs got their 3-run double in the top of this inning. Anthony Rizzo with 2 outs. And the Diamondbacks get their 2-out 3-run double in the home half. And they continue as one of the best teams in baseball at scoring runs with 2 outs.
All 5 runs in the game have come with 2 outs. How about that?
Tomas down 0-2. Tomas drove in the first 2 runs for the D-backs. A 2-run single back in the first. Struck out his last time up. Well, the Diamondbacks mentioned it. Last night they were down 2-1, came back. They were down 4-2 in the 9th, came back. Down 4-2 here in the 5th, came back to take the lead.
There's 3 guys talking about their trip around the bases. Did you have fun at second?
I wasn't there that long.
Well, that pitch to Peralta, I mean, every hitter in the big leagues is a first ball fastball hitter. You hear it all the time. When you throw a breaking ball for the first pitch and miss with it, you're still a first ball fastball hitter, even though it's the second pitch of the at-bat, and David just smoked it to the gap in left center.
Sure did. Banged it off the wall out there. 1-2 to Tomas. Ooh, that one got Miggy back there. Chris Conroy will give him a moment.
Ooh, right off of the left shin guard, right off the knee.
I bet your knee hurts just watching that.
Just watching that, yeah.
And you have new ones.
I have titanium and plastic from too many of those.
Good take there by Tomas with 2 strikes, and he's back even. Well, the Diamondbacks lead the major leagues. They led the majors coming into tonight. 84 2-out RBIs, the best in baseball. And they just got another big 2-out hit there as Tomas strikes out for the second time tonight. But David Peralta, how about this for a big 2-out hit? The 3-run double, and after 5, it's 5 more Diamondbacks. Log on to foxsportsarizona.com/beattheheat and enter that word for your chance to win a trip to San Diego for the July 4th weekend. Throughout May, we'll have a word of the day during every game. Once you see it, go to foxsportsarizona.com/beattheheat and enter that word. The password is team. 5-4. Our team's beating their team. Look inside, brand new Studio 122. This is new this season, the first of its kind in Major League Baseball. No other ballpark has anything like it. Studio 122 right on the main concourse and directly behind home plate. Montero lines it the other way. Peralta's there, 1 pitch, 1 out in the 6th. Now this is right on the main concourse. It's a loft-style design studio. You can reserve it 2 different ways, actually. You can put 20 people in there and make it one big suite, or if you want, it can be 2 different 10-person suites with an unparalleled view of the field. Look at that view.
Like the view we have right below us.
Tremendous. Yeah, you're right underneath our broadcast booth here. Jorge Soler.
You hear so much about the shutdown inning after your team gives you a lead in the ball game. It's very important you go down there and shut out the Cubs right here. Get your team back in the dugout as quickly as possible.
In fact, in our brand new cup of coffee episode, Edwin Jackson from the Diamondback warming up in the Cub bullpen now. Tony La Russa talked a lot about that as a very important thing, that shutdown inning. And you can see that entire conversation online at foxsportsarizona.com. It'll re-air a number of times on the network. Cup of coffee, the 10th inning with the chief baseball officer, Tony La Russa. He always said the key to the shutdown inning was getting that first guy. And Montero flied out. And sure enough, Soler, who leads the league in strikeouts, punches out. That's 7 strikeouts, make it 8 for Ruby. 2 down in the 6th.
Left fielder Chris Coughlin.
Chris Coughlin now, he singled his last time up. Boy, how big, BB, was that Addison Russell double play ball that he dropped at the end of the inning? Ahmed had that single to lead off. De La Rosa popped up. Pollock hit a tailor-made double play ball that Russell just dropped. And it led to a 3-run Diamondback 5th. 1-0 on Coughlin.
Without talking to Addison Russell, we'll never know, but I venture a guess that the speed of the Diamondbacks runners had something to do with the fact that he rushed that play out there at second base and couldn't come up with it cleanly. Had Nick Ahmed going from first to second, and A.J. Pollock running down the first baseline. Two guys that run extremely well, and I think Addison Russell knew he had to hurry. That little sign that Nick just gave right there to Yasmani Tomas. I think what he was telling him is if there's a ball hit between the two of them, then Yasmani has to make a backhanded play rather than try to plant and throw off balance to first base. Just flip it to Nick Ahmed. His momentum is taking him towards first base.
Shift is on for Coughlin. 2-2 now. And you've got Tomas playing right at the second base spot. Aaron Hill out there in shallow right. Goldie near the line at first and playing back. Tomas, we saw him in that spot last night make a couple of dicey throws, one for an error and one low one that Goldie was able to scoop. Full count, 3-2. This was one of the plays with the shift on where he sort of collided almost with Nick Ahmed and then threw it away. Goldie is there. There's your shutdown inning. A 1-2-3-6 after the Diamondbacks get Ruby De La Rosa a 5-4 lead. Hill, Gozawish, and Ahmed in the D-back sixth.
Live, our post-game show. Join us right after the game. Joe, well, Steve and Bob talked about that. A shutdown inning from the starter, Ruby De La Rosa. It's had some adversity tonight, but what did that show you?
The biggest thing after you have a huge inning where they gave up the 4 runs to the Cubs, Diamondbacks come back, score 3. You shut them down. Great job by Ruby. We'll break down his outing and show you exactly how he was able to do all this.
No question. That will be part of the post-game, and maybe the Diamondbacks will tack on now against the Cubs. Guys?
I like that theme. You go from the shutdown inning to the tack-on run.
Yeah.
Nice work out there by the crew on D-Backs Live. The post-game show follows our broadcast here on Fox Sports Arizona. As Aaron Hill leads off the Diamondbacks sixth, headed for the seats. That's on play. Don't forget, fans, our ticket offer, 602-514-8400 fan appreciation ticket offer, only for tonight by the Standard D-Backs 4-pack, and we will give you a 5th game for free. You can come see Angel Hernandez umpire, which is worth the free ticket. See what I was good. It's free. It didn't cost you anything. All right. In the hole, Bryant short hops.
Hey fans, when the D-backs win, you win at Papa John's. A day after every Diamondbacks win, you get 50% off your regular menu price online order at Papa John's. Enter promo code D-backs50 at papajohns.com.
Well, Tuffy used it safely in 5 straight at 8 of 9. Looking for a hit to keep that going here. He is 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts against Jake Arrieta so far. Arrieta has struck out 7. He's walked 2. Boy, another great crowd here tonight. We had 34,000 plus last night. Place is full tonight. Buzzing, and Tuffy sends it out of here. His second career big league homer and his first in 2015. And hey, Jody Jackson, there's your tack-on run. Tuffy's now hitting 6 straight.
Hanging breaking ball down and through it, high in the air to left field, just enough carry to get it over the fence and into that Diamondbacks bullpen. It's up, it's good.
Daniel Hudson out there. Nick Ahmed now. Nick Singleton scored his last time up. So he's extended his hit streak to 8. Tuffy's first big league homer came last April, in fact, at Wrigley Field. So he's a Cub killer. I think next time we do a tease about the post-game show, they should call, I don't know, for like an 8-run inning or something.
Yeah. Well, now we've had a shutdown. Let's go score 8.
Yeah, there you go. They have the magic touch out there, Joe and Jody tonight. I want some ice cream. Oh, you know why? Cold Stone. Yeah, that's the kind of line you get at Cold Stone.
The good thing is, even while you're standing in line waiting for your Cold Stone ice cream,
Nick Ahmed gives it a run. Coughlin at the roll, and he runs it down. Nick almost made it 2 in 2 nights and back-to-back homers.
Just about to say, standing in line at Cold Stone waiting on your ice cream, you can watch the game. There's monitors everywhere out there on the concourse. You won't miss a single pitch.
Well, that's going to be it for Ruby De La Rosa. His spot is right here, and Chris Owings will hit for the pitchers. That's one of the great things about Chase Field, those wide concourses, you get to see everything. So Ruby tonight, just again, the one bad pitch, that's been an issue for him occasionally. The 3-run double by Rizzo. Other than that, he was tremendous again. Walked just 2, had 8 strikeouts, 1 shy of a career high. There's Bryant. Once again, Seal up there hacking. And he grounds out, but the Diamondbacks do indeed tack on one more. Tuffy Gozawish, his first big league homer last April at Wrigley Field. He gets number 2 at Chase Field against the Cubs, and it's 6-4 Diamondbacks. great series it's been so far. Come on down, get your D-backs 4-pack of tickets. You can use one of your games for tomorrow if you want. 12:30 pregame show on Fox Sports Arizona. Jason Hamill and Jeremy Hellickson. New pitcher for the Diamondbacks, J.C. Ramirez, who's looked good so far. Been a nice addition since he had a very good spring training and came up for the minor leagues not too long ago. His 5th appearance of the year. Mike Baxter, former Met great, will hit for Arrieta. As we open up the 7th inning, Diamondbacks lead the Cubs 6-4. Mike Baxter, you know, I kid, former Met great, but really he's got one of the most famous plays in Mets history on the resume. He was at best a part-time player in New York, fairly limited action, parts of 3 big league seasons, but he did carve out a very special place for himself in the minds of New York baseball fans with one of the most memorable defensive plays in Met history. This catch in left field saved Johan Santana's no-hitter June of 2012 as he slammed into that outfield wall in the 7th inning to preserve the first no-hitter in Met history.
Good call.
He had to come out of the game. He watched the rest of the ball game in the trainer's room with a severe shoulder bruise. And of course, Santana in that ball game threw 134 pitches and has not been the same since.
Nope.
But that is still the only no-hitter in Met history. They had never had one, which makes Baxter's catch even that much bigger.
I remember that catch, but I didn't know that it was Mike Baxter that did it.
Yeah, see? Of course, we have a Baxter here.
Yeah.
D. Baxter.
The Baxter.
There he is. So it's Baxter and yeah, he's upset. What's the deal? Baxter? Yeah, I'm with you. Oh, he's putting the whammy on him. 1 and 2. Baxter just called up from AAA on Tuesday. Mike Baxter, I should say, by the Cubs. Hitless in a couple of at-bats so far this season. And sure enough, D. Baxter does indeed put the whammy on him. Nice work.
Second baseman, Addison Russell.
That's my name. Don't wear it out.
There's only room for one Baxter in this town. Good changeup of his own that time from J.C. Ramirez.
Addison Russell now, the second baseman, made one of the key plays in the ball game. A botched double play ball that led to a 3-run Diamondback 5th. Ramirez. Now this was the 5th inning after Nick Ahmed had a single to lead off the inning. De La Rosa popped up. Pollock hits a tailor-made double play ball. That play ends the inning if they can convert 2 there.
Yep. You could clearly see Addison Russell jumping off that bag to the inside. That's the David Peralta double that then cleared the bases after the inability to turn that double play. But you could clearly see Addison Russell jumping out of the way of the sliding Nick Ahmed. As I mentioned, he knew he had to hurry to get A.J. Pollock at first and got neither one.
Dexter Fowler now. Fowler 0 for 2. He walked and stole a base in the first. Tough spot for Addison Russell, 21 years old, his first month in the big leagues, and almost exclusively a shortstop in 4 minor league seasons. In fact, in his entire minor league career, he had only played 5 games away from short. But here he is trying to learn the big leagues at a different position, second base. And Joe Madden pointed out, look, you have to remember, it's not just a different position, it's a different side of the field, which Madden says is entirely different. The angle and the spin of the ball off the bat, the double plays. They've asked a lot of a 21-year-old. 2-2. And that's something we almost, Bob, take for granted with Chris Owings, who does such a great job at second and short.
He looks like a natural at second base.
second base, and J.C. Ramirez works a 1-2-3-7 three-stretch at Chase Field. The Diamondbacks going for 6 in a row, lead at 6-4.
We just completed the 7th inning stretch now, and now I'm urging you viewers, stretch out, grab the phone, dial 602-514-8400, and purchase tickets. 4 games gets you a 5th game free. An incredible offer on this fan appreciation night. I'm right now in the infield box. It stretches from dugout to dugout, so you could sit on the Diamondbacks side and be right by the on-deck circle, cheer on your heroes, or perhaps you go to the visitors side, heckle a little, you know. And I've been told, really, this is the best value. You really get a lot, great view from your seats here for a really good value. And really, here at Chase Field, I've just gone around the entire area, experienced vantage points from all over, and no complaints, guys. There's a lot to be seen here and a lot of games still to come, so you want to get on those phones. Make sure you get out here to the ballpark.
That's right, Kate. New pitcher for the Cubs, Edwin Jackson, former Diamondback, his 10th appearance in and out of their rotation and bullpen this year. As A.J. Pollock leads off the Arizona 7th, 6-4 Diamondbacks, trying to win 6 in a row. And she's right. One of the great things about Chase Field, the sight lines here are tremendous. I mean, it's a big ballpark, but it feels small because the infield level seats are so good all over the ballpark from foul pole to foul pole. And then you've got some great different vantage points in the outfield. We talked about the home run porches earlier. 2-1. So take advantage, fans. It's our fan appreciation ticket offer. A standard D-backs 4-pack where you pick all the games, any game you want, and we will give you a 5th game absolutely free. But the offer is only good during this broadcast. 602-514-8400. Three and 1 to AJ. Singled in the 3rd. Scored a run in the 5th. Chris Bryant. Of course, Edwin Jackson, part of one season with the D-backs, 2010. Went 6-10 in 21 starts, dealt at the deadline that year. But part of his tenure at the Diamondbacks, the no-hitter in St. Pete against the Rays, who at that time were managed by Joe Madden. That was, of course, the no-hitter in which he walked 8 batters.
He has electric stuff. When he's around the strike zone, he can be a very effective pitcher. There are times, however, that strike zone eludes him, and he can get a bunch of traffic on the bases in a short period of time.
And he is reunited with his battery mate in that ball game here tonight, Miguel Montero. Both former Diamondbacks, now Cubs. Trumbo doubled and scored in the first. Starlin Castro. Of course, Jackson made some news here in Arizona this spring. I don't know if you heard about this, BB, where he had a Cactus League start at Hohokam in Mesa. So he typed in Oakland Athletic Spring Training Complex. Google Maps has sent him to Phoenix Muni. Oops. Where the A's used to train. So Jackson rerouted, dressed in full uniform, drove to the ballpark, got there about 20 minutes before first pitch, and they said by then, well, never mind. We had to go with someone else. 1-1 to Goldie. Funny thing about that was when he finally did get into the game that day, he gave up 8 runs on 9 hits in less than 2 innings.
GPS obviously didn't work on the mound either.
Took him to the wrong place. Paul Goldschmidt gives it a ride. Holy cow, Dexter Fowler with the Spider-Man grab up against the wall in right center field. Just snuck in there under the home run porch, and Fowler hauls it in. We'll go to the gate. 6-4 Diamondbacks.
More than at the play at the 3.
The Gig Life high-speed highlights presented by Cox as Chris Bryant leads off the Chicago 8th against J.C. Ramirez, who just worked a 1-2-3 7th. Our Gila River game summary. Some big hits, each team with 1 3-run double. Anthony Rizzo top 5 made it 4-2 Cubs. David Peralta bottom 5 made it 5-4 Diamondbacks. Tuffy Gozawish a homer in the 6th for a tack-on run. And it's 6-4 Diamondbacks as we start the 8th. Bryant singled and stole a base in the 4th. He was hit by a pitch his last time up to drive in a run, that with the bases loaded. And then Rizzo came up next batter and hit that 3-run double off the bullpen wall in the left field corner. And the shift is on for Bryant with 3 infielders on the left-hand side. By the way, we just had the 50-50 raffle tonight, which we have every night here at the ballpark. And this big crowd, it's big money. Skied very shallow right field. Trumbo calls everybody off. This place is packed here tonight. It's a tremendous atmosphere. Roof and panels open. Cubs in town. What a great night to be here. And the 50-50 tonight was over $30,000, so somebody won 15 grand.
Nice.
And the other $15,000 going to Diamondback charity. So a great cause, great work by our fans here. Now, don't forget about the Diamondback fan appreciation ticket offer. Also, while you're here at the ballpark, go ask the season ticket headquarters about season tickets. As you can see, it's very well staffed. It's set up basically right behind first base on the main concourse, and you can go there and ask all kinds of questions. You can stand there all day and ask them questions, and they'll tell you whatever you need to know about how to get season tickets, how it works, what kind of packages are available, how much it costs, where you can sit, all that stuff, and they will answer all your questions right here at the ballpark.
All the other advantages that come along with being a season ticket holder.
Early access to batting practice. I mean, you got a team like the Cubs who are in town. You got Bryant, you got Rizzo. You want to see batting practice. You have that same display in your house, I think, don't you?
Yeah, a lot like that.
1-1 on Rizzo, who had the big hit his last time up. Gets away from the shift to the right to Ahmed. Wait, I'm becoming a big J.C. Ramirez fan. He's done a nice job. He had a very good spring training. A former Philly, did not pitch in the big leagues last year. But he has looked good. Big guy out there, 26 years old, 6'4", 250, throws hard.
Throws really hard. Fastball in the upper 90s, has a real hard late breaking slider.
Starlin Castro now. And tell you what, after what the Diamondbacks went through last night, they used 9 pitchers. They literally went through the entire bullpen. And Ruby labored to get through 6. This is a big boost here from Ramirez, who has retired all 5 he's faced. If he could handle the 7th and 8th, suddenly you're in good shape. Chip Hale said after the ball game last night, now we'll be fine tomorrow night, because they thought, well, maybe you'll call somebody up from the minor leagues, a fresh arm. And Chip insisted they'd be okay. But Castro comes up with a 2-out hit. And so Ramirez so far has done a good job, but now he has to get Miguel Montero.
Looks like Chip is going to make a double switch here. He's headed to home plate umpire Chris Conroy first.
Well, he's got Oliver Perez, the left-hander, warming up at the Sanderson Ford bullpen. The left hand hitting Miguel Montero due up. And Ender Inciarte is going to run out to right field and replace Mark Trumbo. And Trumbo, who made the second out in the bottom of the 7th, the ground out to shortstop, will come out of the game. So the pitcher's spot will be second in the Diamondback order. Perez comes in. Inciarte will play right field to bat 9th. We're back after this.
Signing up at one of the 16 interactive kiosks right here at Chase Field during any Diamondbacks regular season home game. Wonder Woman might even be there to help you. Kids having a good time at the ballpark tonight. It's a great game.
Yeah, this place is full. It's a tremendous atmosphere here. And with 2 outs in the 8th inning, it's the left-hander Oliver Perez.
Miguel Montero.
Ollie worked 1/3 of an inning last night in the ball game through 8 pitches. And he's on here to get Miguel Montero and send us to the home half of the 8th. Miggy hitless tonight. He has struck out, hit into a double play, and flied out 0 for 3. He is the tying run at the plate with 2 down and Castro at first. Shift is on for Miggy. Now, you know, this is interesting, Bob. We know really well here how well Miggy goes to left center field. So what do you think about the shift here?
Well, we also know that Miggy wants to hit the ball to right field a long way if at all possible. I think with a left-handed pitcher, I'd be less likely to play the exaggerated shift.
That's the second time tonight Diamondbacks pitchers have clunked a Cub batter. So Perez comes in, can't get the lefty, and now Soler, the right hand hitting Jorge Soler, steps up. That was always behind him.
Yeah, breaking ball just never took the break. Started right at him, stayed right at him.
And here comes Mike Harkey. They're going to really slow this thing down here and try and give Daniel Hudson a chance to get hot in the Sanderson Ford bullpen.
Perez is going to have to face Soler. You would assume he'll stay in to face Coughlin, a left-handed hitter as well. But after that, we'll have to see who Joe Madden selects as a pinch hitter for that pitcher spot, which is once again the 8-hole.
Jorge Soler 1 for 3, singled and scored in the 5th. Keep in mind, this is the National League leader in strikeouts, and Ollie this year has been better against right-hand hitters than versus lefties for some reason. He's got some backward platoon splits. 2 on, 2 out, 6-4 in the 8th. Soler has backward platoon splits as well.
No way to predict how this one's going to turn out.
We have not seen the same Oliver Perez this year that we saw last year.
He's a little inconsistent with his release point, and we know mechanically he likes to do a lot of different things out there on the mound, but I think it's hurt him somewhat this year. It's the inability to consistently find a release point where he can throw strikes.
He's behind 3-0. Coughlin on deck, trying to get that last out here in the 8th. Well, the book on Soler lately, and the numbers really do back this up. He will crush good fastballs, but he will chase bad sliders. And Joe Madden said last week that it reminded him of Manny Ramirez, because when Manny was coming up with Cleveland, he had the same problem. And at some point, the light goes on. 3-1. That's in there. Hold on there, Jorge. That's strike 2. Chris Conroy, the plate umpire. Castro at second, Montero at first. 2 outs, 3 balls, 2 strikes. There go the runners. And he belts it to right. And it's off the base of the wall. Castro scores. They will wave Montero. Here's the throw. He's in there. 6-6 ball game. Jorge Soler, a 2-out, 2-run double.
Fastball out over the plate. Soler with that big swing finds the gap in right center. This ball's really played well by Ender Inciarte on a bounce off the wall. Quickly got it into the cutoff man. Miggy giving it everything he's got, turning the corner at third base. Gets in just ahead of the throw.
Well, the struggles of Oliver Perez continue in what is now a 6-6 ball game in the 8th. He hit a batter and gave up a 2-run double. Back after this. Sports Live. They'll offer a full night of NHL and NBA playoff action, plus all the highlights from tonight's Major League game. Fox Sports Live tonight at 11:30 on Fox Sports 1 or right here on Fox Sports Arizona following Diamondbacks live postgame.
Miguel Montero coming into home plate. Watch this slide. He just sticks to the ground. Yeah, there was no slide there at all. That was just a leap at home plate. Extends that left foot and then hits the brakes.
6-6 ball game and still 1 out to get here with Soler the go ahead run at second, 2 out. Daniel Hudson on to face Chris Conklin. This got away from the Diamondbacks in a hurry here. Ramirez opened up the 8th inning, got 2 quick outs. Bryant and Rizzo, no less. And a 2-out single by Castro. Oliver Perez hit Montero, then gave up the 2-run game tying double to Soler. And now here's Hudson behind on Coghlan, 1-0. Diamondbacks in the bottom of the 8th will have 4, 5, and 6. Peralta, Tomas, and Hill. We went 13 innings last night, 4.5 hours, and we're tied again here tonight in the 8th. There's the strike, 2-1. 98 from Huddy. 3 balls and a strike. Ball 4. Two on, 2 out pitcher spot, which is 8th for Joe Madden. Comes up now.
Number 21.
And we'll see Junior Lake. Fan appreciation ticket offer. Good only during our ball game tonight. Buy a standard D-backs 4-pack and we'll give you the 5th game absolutely free. 602-514-8400. Soler is the runner at second and Conklin at first. Makes another free swinger up there. 6 hits in 20 at bats and a couple of singles last night. Up and down with the big league club a few times this year already. Just rejoined the Cubs on Tuesday. Daniel Hudson so far 7 pitches, 5 of them balls. Junior Lake. The pool. See? It's Mitch Riggin, ladies and gentlemen. '97, 1-2. Tony La Russa bobblehead day coming up June 6th. D-backs Fedora tomorrow here. You can call right now. Get your 4-pack for either of those games or both if you want. The standard D-backs 4-pack. You pick the games and we'll give you a 5th game absolutely free. 1-2 on Junior Lake.
2-2 pitch. You definitely want to make something happen right here. Got to throw a strike, preferably down low in the zone. Don't want those runners in motion with 2 outs and a full count.
Don't forget, Huddy worked 2 full innings in last night's game, and he was brilliant. Retired all 6 he faced through 27 pitches, had 3 strikeouts. 2-2. That's going to go just as a pass ball.
Way inside and running farther inside. Lake do a little dance to get out of the way that time.
Didn't hit him, didn't hit the bat. Off the tip of Tuffy's glove.
That was actually a changeup that really had a lot of movement inside to the right-handed hitter.
And he scored a wild pitch. 3-2 now. 2 outs, 2nd and 3rd. Got him. Big strikeout right there, and Daniel Hudson is fired up. He strands 2, but the Cubs get 2. Jorge Soler, a 2-run double, but Huddy gets Lake. Snaps the bat over his knee. We're tied at 6 in the 8th.
We are getting set for Diamondbacks Live, our post-game show. It was fun while it lasted, but Tuffy's tack-on run now, well, it's been matched by the Cubs tie game, and now it looks like, Joe, the D-backs are looking for more heroes tonight.
Well, we're going to see, Jody, if they can extend this streak to 6. We're going to need some more late inning action.
No question about it. All right, D-backs offense coming up. Guys, we'll send it back to you.
Thank you, guys. Diamondback Live post-game show follows our broadcast, and here to open up the bottom of the 8th, new pitcher for the Cubs, the lefty James Russell. He had a weird deal last night where he retired a batter without throwing a pitch. Came on with 2 outs in the 11th inning. After Nick Ahmed had singled off Jason Mott, Russell replaced Mott, threw a pickoff attempt, and they got Ahmed to win the inning. And Russell came out of the game. That was it. Didn't go back in and didn't throw a pitch. And they asked, the Cubs media asked Joe Madden, why didn't he come back with Russell in the next inning? Said he came back with Travis Wood. But Joe just said, look, he had been up, he'd been down. He gets all hot, comes into the game, then has to sit right away without throwing a pitch. It wasn't ideal for him. And that didn't work out. So Russell back out there tonight.
You see a little pine tar there on the bill of James Russell's hat. You think he'd be a little more careful after what has happened recently.
Peralta lifts it to left field. Conklin is there. Oh, just saw Will Smith of the Brewers ejected for having pine tar. It was on his arm someplace, right?
Yeah.
And we're going to see another pitching change now with the right hand hitting Yasmani Tomas coming up. And of course, last night with Russell, they got the pitcher batting 8th, so that kind of confuses everything too with the Cubs. 6-6 ball game. Last night it was Mott, then Russell. Now it'll be Russell and Mott back after this. Last night, but then again, who didn't? It's the right-hander Jason Mott, 2/3 of an inning in last night's ball game, threw 15 pitches, and he's back out there tonight, his 21st appearance.
Fastball, fastball, fastball from Jason Mott. Occasionally a cutter, which will be a little bit off speed of his regular heater, which is up in the upper 90s.
In a wild ball game, 6-6, all 12 runs in the game so far have been scored with 2 outs. And Yasmani Tomas, a 2-run single in the first. He has struck out his last 2 times up. And he looks at strike 1, 96 mile-an-hour fastball from Mott. Tomas now with an 8-game hitting streak. Bounce to second, Addison Russell. 2 down for Aaron Hill.
Second baseman, Aaron Hill.
run single in the fourth. He's 1 for 3. And tonight makes his 400th career appearance at second base for the Diamondbacks. The most in club history. Breaks a tie with Orlando Hudson. Quickly down 0-2. Cubs in the ninth will have Russell, Fowler, and Bryant 9-1-2. He did not go. Angel Hernandez down at first. So Aaron's still alive up there. A ball and 2 strikes. High fly ball drifting near the seats and out of play.
First time since coming into the game, Mott missed his spot by a wide margin that time. Miguel Montero had moved way out on the outside corner, and Mott threw the ball back on the inner third of the plate. Just got it.
Oh, yeah, drifted right back into Aaron's wheelhouse.
He's just been dotting that outside corner at the knees against Aaron Hill. Back out there again.
Starlin Castro. Well, Russell and Mott combined for a 1-2-3-8. We go to the ninth at Chase Field. Don't forget our fan appreciation ticket offer. You're running out of time. It's the ninth inning. Buy 4 games. We'll give you a 5th game for free, but you got to hurry. The offer ends when the game ends, and we're going to the ninth.
Got that.
Is brought to you in part by Sanderson Ford. The best play is at Sanderson Ford. Cherry 5-Hour Energy Shot, helping support Special Operations Warrior Foundation. And by Chaz Roberts Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Choose Chaz. Bronson Arroyo and Dave Stewart manning.
Okay, for baseline, so if we're looking down, like in section 135 baseline, so you're looking at 26 a ticket. So 26 a ticket, so you're basically looking at $104 for the 4-game package per person.
Our fan appreciation ticket offer. We're not messing around. We got VIPs down there.
Guys in uniform taking calls.
Enrique Burgos out to work the ninth. He, like everybody, pitched last night. Burgos, 1 inning through 16 pitches, 13 strikes. He was tremendous, had 2 strikeouts, and he's on for the 12th time this year. 0-1 to Addison Russell. Russell is 0 for 2 with a walk. Our fan appreciation ticket offer: buy a standard D-backs 4-pack and we give you a 5th game absolutely free. But the offer ends when the ball game ends tonight. And the phones are lighting up. 602-514-8400. And the best part about the 4-pack is you get to pick all the games.
I get 2 tickets. Sorry? I'm looking for 2 tickets on Father's Day. All right.
Want some Father's Day seats? You could pick Father's Day, 4th of July. Pick a bobblehead day, any game you want. It's up to you.
Where are you going to sit, bud? Anything for Father's Day in section 200?
Yeah, I can get you in row 2, seats 3 and 4.
Oh, yeah, nice.
2 seats?
Yeah, how much is that?
They are going to be 43 each.
Oh, that's a great deal. Stays 2 and 2 on Russell. Gonna need a new stick.
He threw that one right off the end of the bat. Probably a cupped bat where they take a little bit of the weight out of the very end and leave what appears to be a cup at the end of the bat. Occasionally when you get so far out in front of a pitch, yeah, you just hit it right off that cupped area and it just peels a piece of the bat off.
This is at 96. It's full 3 and 2. Fowler on deck. Bryant behind him. Rizzo in the hole. The big boys for the Cubs. In the press box. Jack Magruder didn't flinch. He's a veteran. 3 and 2. Got him. Did that guy ever, was he able to get his tickets?
How much were those again?
43 each.
43 each.
Okay, it's a cash deal here.
Awesome. I'm so excited for the game.
Cool. Yeah, it should be fun. Should be a lot of fun.
You're going to hear the governor, Greg Schulte, on the radio side throughout the concourse. So 1 away for Fowler. Tomas will come in on the grass at 3rd. And he belts it into right center field. Pollock over there to cut it off. Fowler takes a wide turn, but he'll hold it first with a 1-out single. His first hit tonight.
Dexter Fowler, he's going to be a real good addition for the Cubs. Gives him that legitimate leadoff hitter. He's a switch hitter. He runs extremely well. Plays great defense in center. It's kind of one of those under the radar pickups, but I think they're going to really be glad they had him come the end of the season.
He fits what they're looking for, that high on base percentage guy. And now you've got Bryant and Rizzo behind him. Bryant 1 for 3, singled in the 4th, was hit by a pitch with the bases loaded in the 5th for an RBI. He's also stolen a base. The single in the 4th extended his hit streak. It's at 12 games now. Keeping score at the ballpark. Nice penmanship.
They should put Snakes down in the empty inning.
Well, he really spiked that one well in front of Tuffy. Fowler stays put. Now this is when you'd really like Burgos to just be able to concentrate on a dangerous guy like Bryant up there, but he's got to pay attention to Fowler at first. He's the go-ahead run.
Tuffy looks like he's wearing a new chest protector back there. That doesn't have the ribs on it that you're used to seeing on a normal chest protector. High tech. Space age stuff. Chest protector. Last one obviously different colored, but you can see the little sections of padding all around that chest protector. Tonight it's just 3 big sections of padding.
Tomas knocks it down and they'll have no play. Hit hard right in the hole at third. Tomas able to get a glove on it. But the Cubs have 2 on and 1 out for Anthony Rizzo.
First baseman Anthony Rizzo.
He went down to a knee a little bit too early that time. Ball was a little farther to his left than he realized. Thought he would be able to drop to a knee, make the play, and initiate a possible double play. Ball was just a little bit farther out of his reach than he expected.
E5 is on the board. Error on Tomas at third on a hard hit ball in the hole. And now Mike Harkey comes up to talk to Enrique Burgos. Anthony Rizzo has had the big hit for the Cubs. 5th inning with 2 outs, a 3-run double off the bullpen wall in left field corner to David Peralta. Thought might have been out of here for a home run. It rolled away. All 3 runs came in. And now Chris Conroy goes out to try and break this up. Harkey really getting in Enrique Burgos' face in a positive way, but clapping, trying to get him fired up out there. He's got his work cut out for him. With Fowler the runner at second, Bryant at first, 1 out, and Rizzo the hitter. And this guy is a tough out. 343 this year with runners in scoring position. It's a foul ball.
It's one of those situations, and we talked about it before this year, where the exaggerated pull shift for the hitter actually serves a dual purpose. Nick Ahmed is playing right behind Dexter Fowler out there at second base, hopefully limiting the lead he can get at second base, giving the outfielders a chance to throw him out should Rizzo get a base hit.
A ball and a strike. High fly ball, right center field. And it's gone. Anthony Rizzo, his 9th, and it's 9-6 Chicago. A 6 RBI night for the Cubs first baseman. His home runs this year have been to either right or right center. That's where his power is, and he hammered that one into the pool.
And the slider right down the heart of the plate and down a little bit, right where Rizzo likes it. That power swing high in the air. Ciarte, we've seen him do this a few times recently, trying to climb the barrier and make a play, but it was out of his reach.
So Rizzo has driven in 6 of the 9 Cub runs. And here's Castro, who singled and scored his last time up. 6 RBIs, ties his career high. 97, 1-2. Daniel Hudson got a big strikeout to end the 8th. Other than that, besides J.C. Ramirez, who retired the first 5 he faced before a 2-out single, it's been a rough night for what is a tired Diamondback bullpen. Castro punches out, but Rizzo gets another 3-run hit. And now with 2 outs, it's Miguel Montero.
All those things A.J. Pollock said about Paul Goldschmidt. He was used to seeing him do it. You expect him to do it, and I think the Cubs feel the same way about Anthony Rizzo. If he's up there late in a close game, they expect him to be the guy to come up with a big hit.
Iggy 0 for 3 so far. He was hit by a pitch and scored a run. His last time up came in on Soler's 2-run double off Oliver Perez that tied it 6-6 in the 8th. Cubs with 2 in the 8th and now 3 here in the 9th. Big Miggy fans, apparently. 98 from Burgos, 1-2. The shift is on again for Montero.
Go up there one more time.
Miggy still without a hit in this series, 0 for 2 last night. Diamondbacks in the bottom of the 9th will have the lower third of the order. Gozawish, Ahmed, and Inciarte. Came back from down 2 in the 9th inning last night. Have to try and overcome a 3-run deficit here tonight. 2-2 pitch. And he got him. Burgos gets 3 strikeouts in the inning, but Anthony Rizzo gets a 3-run homer. He's got 6 RBIs, and as we go to the bottom of the 9th, the Cubs have a 9-6 lead. Here tonight, a 3-run double in the 5th, a 3-run homer in the 9th. We said he's the left-hand version of Goldie, and he's certainly played like that tonight.
Yes, he has. Two of the best young first basemen in the game. These guys are going to be knocking heads for years to come.
So we go to the bottom of the 9th. It's a 9-6 ball game. Tuffy Gozawish, who homered in his last at bat, will lead it off for the Diamondbacks against the new Cubs pitcher, Pedro Strop. He's got Ahmed and Inciarte behind him. Pedro Strop last night worked 1 inning through only 9 pitches, his 23rd appearance of the year.
Yeah, he was the first reliever for the Cubs after John Lester, and it was just a parade of arms after that for both ball clubs.
Tuffy will lead it off, 2 strikeouts and a homer. He's now hit safely in 6 straight games and 9 of his last 10. Need at least a couple of base runners here. Don't forget our fan appreciation ticket offer ends when the telecast ends tonight, so you are right up against it here. Oh, the shortstop, Castro. Buy a standard D-backs 4-pack, the 4-pack. A package of tickets to 4 different games, and you get to pick the games. And if you get the 4-pack, we will give you a 5th game absolutely free. 602-514-8400 is the number you call. Big savings over the normal box office price. Total flexibility. You select all the games, any one you want. And you can pick a holiday, pick a bobblehead day, another giveaway day, whatever you need. But you got to do it before the game ends. Nick Ahmed. Nick singled and scored in the 5th. He's 1 for 3. And he's now got an 8-game hitting streak. Well, it's been a fun show despite what happened there in the top of the 9th. And I want to thank our crew who's done a great job. Producer Mark Rita, director Mitch Rigg, and everybody. Especially those guys in the tape room bringing you all these great replays. We got Derek and Eric down there, Don Shea and Mike. Thanks, you guys. Doing a terrific job as always. Covering our whole ballpark here as we show you what's available at Chase Field. On a terrific Saturday night. Roof and panels open. Cubs and Diamondbacks. One more tomorrow. Ahmed strikes out. Hoping they can have the roof and panels open tomorrow. Not sure. Don't hold your breath. We'll see. Probably closed tomorrow. Ralph is not here. We can't have the Ralph Kelso spot on weather forecast. Otherwise, we'd know. But Ralph has the night off. He's got big Memorial Day. Ender Inciarte. Jeremy Hellickson and Jason Hamill. Diamondback Live pregame show tomorrow at 12:30 on Fox Sports Arizona. 1 o'clock start. Then it's off to St. Louis for 3 and Milwaukee for 3. So the Diamondbacks, who just had a 7-game road trip back home, just enough time to do laundry and pack again. 3 against the Cubs and back out on the road. Inciarte shoots it out to left. Coughlin is there, and the Cubs have a 9-6 win to even the series, and the Diamondbacks winning streak is snapped at 5. They scored 9 runs, and Anthony Rizzo drove in 6 of them. The 3-run double in the 5th, the 3-run homer in the 9th. And they're going to have to figure out a way to get him out tomorrow in the rubber game of this 3-game set.
Yeah, no doubt about it. There's a lot of offensive weapons up and down this Cubs lineup. They all bring something different to the table, but you know all about Anthony Rizzo. And if there's one guy in the lineup you're going to circle tomorrow, it's the Cubs first baseman.
Well, Daniel Hudson got a big strikeout. J.C. Ramirez did a pretty good job there in getting 5 outs. Other than that, it was a rough night for the Diamondback bullpen. The Cub bullpen, on the other hand, did a very good job. The Diamondbacks, after they got that solo homer from Tuffy with 1 out in the 6th to take the 6-4 lead, did not have another base runner after that, as Jackson, Russell, Mott, and Pedro Strop shut the door. Diamondbacks lose 9-6. It's time to start the Diamondback Live postgame show. Joe Borowski is with Jody Jackson. Jody.
That's right. Thanks a lot, Steve. Big show coming your way. Diamondbacks alive. Now, Joe, the streak is over, but the good news is D-backs have a chance to win the series, of course, tomorrow against the Cubs.
Yeah, they got to flush tonight's loss out of the way. You don't want this to create a losing streak. You have to forget about it, worry about tomorrow's game, win the series.
All right, we'll break it down. Again, game tied in that 9th inning. We will show you exactly what happened. A big night for Anthony Rizzo.